Hi, I'm Shanshan Dong. I'm an NBC News Network producer, and today we're talking about how to be a field producer.
This is the extra shot, so we have a second shot if we need it, but this is really the shot that we want.
That's Lady from Guitar Center. Everything is behind the stage. You want to see what it looks like? Do you want to do the interview now while they're setting up? That's okay? Yeah. Field producer is really responsible for the entire shoot, from start to finish, from setting up. So I'm going to call Carlos now, who's my cameraman, and we're just going to talk through a plan for tomorrow. You do the planning. I briefly spoke with Ramon just because we were talking over the mic situation. You work out the execution. Besides setting up the auditorium, we're also going to set up in a separate room for the interviews with the kids. You are there on the day to make sure everything runs smoothly and to step up when there are problems and fix them. Yeah. It's the day before the shoot, and the story tomorrow is about young people who lost their musical instruments in the Eaton and Palisades fire that recently devastated Los Angeles. This one company has very kindly decided to step up, provide replacements for those instruments that were lost as a surprise. Then we're going to open the curtains. This is like what's set up behind. Besides briefing your crew and your correspondent on what to expect. So we're set up in here. And that's the plan. Nice. Yeah. You also kind of want to write it up in a summary as well. A production note is just a layout of everything you've been doing in your head, but just put down on paper. So it'll be things from the scheduling to locations. It'll include background information about people and potential questions to ask. You want to think about how they're going to set up, what sort of camera gear they're going to need, how many audio sources there are. Ramon is our sound guy. He's going to put a little microphone on you. What it's going to look like, what you want it to look like. This shot is the money shot. This is the extra shot. Yeah. So that's the way I see it, right? Okay. You want to make sure they know about timing. You want to make sure they know about location, getting in and out, how that's going to work, and also the nature of the story. The main challenge, I think, for tomorrow is really going to be the timing. We're only going to have an hour with these kids at the school. Forgetting this surprise moment and B-roll and 2 interviews is just going to be a little tight.
Oh, so you're the TV lady?
Yes. We knew that the surprise was happening at 9 o'clock. You always want to be there early. What you want to do first is you kind of want to check out the location, work out what your limitations are, but also what visually will look the best. You can't do your interviews while there's a lot of background noise because you can't really hear what everyone's saying, so you need to find a second location. You want to think out what would be best visually, but also you want to think about it editorially as well, like what makes sense. You ideally don't want a conference room with white walls because there's no depth there, but there's also nothing that tells you where you are. You could be anywhere. There's a lot of space in this room because it's got a lot of depth. This is also used as the choir room, so it's music adjacent to what we were doing in there.
Guitar Center has a big surprise for you today.
Oh, they just did the reveal.
And how do you sound?
I'll be happy once we see the footage. This is Gadi, who's going to be chatting with you.
Great to meet you.
We knew beforehand who we were interviewing, and so you always want to make sure you get set up of that person that you're interviewing. Get them in their element naturally. One of the kids that we were interviewing, he picked up the guitar, just started playing, and at one point I attached my cameraman, and I was like, this is the one that we want to make sure we get shots of.
One of the most devastating images for all of us in Los Angeles is to see your auditorium.
Yeah.
What did that auditorium mean to you?
I was supposed to walk the stage this year to go to high school, so I was just very devastated because I was really looking forward to that.
Has there been any good that's happened from this horrible tragedy?
Just seeing how the community all helps each other and is there for each other. Even with all this devastation, everyone is still here for each other.
The fire's not going to stop you from learning.
Mm-mm.
This is Elliot's Arts Magnet School. We're shooting video of the damage to help illustrate exactly what happened to their school. Very emotional hearing the students talk about it, but it's also visually compelling to actually see it as well. Carlos came up with the idea of flying a drone to see the damage best because it's really from the rooftop that you can see it. Ramon is spotting right now to make sure that the drone is clear. I checked with the bosses for permission. We did a reveal of the new instruments that these brothers were getting. We filmed a little bit of B-roll of them playing together. Everything we were hoping for went off. There were some problems, but I think we dealt with them. Now I have a lot of fresh new footage to lay eyes on and start logging.
My dad went to that school.
It's in the folder called Maddox Smiles.
What do you think?
I like it.
Finally, there is good news tonight in Los Angeles, a surprise that is helping students in one community hit hard by those wildfires come back to life and hitting all the right notes. Here's Gadi Schwartz.
In a cacophony of destruction, the LA fires stole so much. And among the ashes, the auditorium at Elliott Arts Magnet School. Its instruments lost, its music students left silenced.
I played so many shows there. My dad went to that school, my grandma.
Now, after his class relocated to a different school,
Guitar Center has a big surprise for you.
Gifts from the Guitar Center Music Foundation. More than a dozen guitars, amps, and even a drum set for this rock and roll band class.
The main thing about being a film producer is you have to wear many, many hats. Every single part of the shoot is your responsibility, and it's up to you to handle that. And the key to getting around a lot of that is planning, planning, planning. A lot of our crews are very creative, and given the opportunity, they'll bring you really beautiful shots.
Success.
He is the reason for why my shoots are so successful. And they get really creative and really smart with the way in which they capture these things on camera. You want to trust them and give them that leeway too. You have a vision, but they will also have a vision, and you put your heads together and try and come up with the best possible outcome. The world is full of interesting people, and I think it's really a good side of humanity to see that as much as possible and learn about different people and their stories. I do this job because I think it's really important to share people's stories and do so in a human way.